It is time to do an overview of the whole update. Let's see what changed very briefly, nothing too much in detail, just to start off this week of crazy detailed videos about this new update. Let's get it going. Hey there YouTube, welcome back to the Gekko, another daily video. I wanted to thank you all for all your continuous support. You guys are awesome in the last few days. Today we are going to talk about the update as a whole. We're going to try to cover as many things as possible, very briefly show you guys a bunch of things that changed, talk a little bit about the civilizations, about the commanders, nothing too in-depth, just a general overview. And from there on, the next few videos are all going to be in-depth look at all the civilizations, commanders, buildings, and all the good stuff. We're going to change to all the commanders and all the civilizations, everything. So you guys are going to want to stick around, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notifications so you get a bell every time I upload a video. And I say that backwards because sometimes dyslexia is a thing. Now, let's start by the biggest thing, which are the three new civilizations. The Byzantium civilization, which is an increased cavalry health by 5%, stone gathering speed by 10%, and hospital capacity 15% civilization led by the mightiest Belisarius, the starring commander, with special units which are like mounted spearmen or something like that. It's pretty cool stuff. I'm not too big of a fan of this civilization, but I've heard from a few people that they really enjoy the hospital capacity thing. It's going to be interesting to see how things unfold for the Byzantium civilization. The Ottoman civilization is the one I previously leaked its stats. They are as accurate as they were then. Increased archer health by 5%, troop march speed by 5%, and active skill damage by 5%. This is the only civilization that affects skills of commanders, which is pretty interesting as well. Arabia also hit us with an awesome change, which is increased cavalry attack by 5%, kind of like Germany. Damage dealt to barbarians and other neutral units by 10%, so this would be awesome for barbarian hunting. And damage dealt by rallied armies by 5%. This means that the rallied armies, the ones that are being rallied, are the ones that are getting the extra damage dealt. Great stuff for defending. So these are the three new civilizations, and of course the Arabia civilization is led by Baybars, I think his name is called, and the Ottoman is by Osman the First. So those are the three civilizations, the brand new civilizations we've gotten. They cost a civilization token to switch to them, and guess what? The update gave you a free one. I've been telling you guys to hold, well, I told a few people to hold on to theirs because the new civilizations might be worth it, and now you got another one. So now you either have two, or hey, if you still used yours, bam, you can change again. Now, the next thing we're going to look at is the city editor. To get into the city editor, all you got to do is click on the hammer right here, and it will allow you to edit layouts of your city. This is very similar to different types of games that have this kind of map layout. It allows you to have three different layouts. You can select which one to use, and you can simply click on any one, edit. You get all your buildings at your levels and whatever not, and all you got to do is click and just like previously move things around. You can do a few cool things like clicking, let's say place this one right here, like clicking here, click this one, and click this one. You can actually move everything, which is kind of nice. I like that a lot. You can finish later, screenshot mode, which then lets you see everything moving and flowing like it should, except that without the borders, which is really nice. I wish they did that in general so I can record without the layout. Lilith Gaming, for the love of God, do this, please. You can finish later, move everything, delete mode, road, everything. This is some cool stuff. Standard editor. I like it. I think it's cool. I hope you guys use it, and you guys showcase to me either on Discord, Twitter, Facebook, wherever you want, on Instagram as well, your different layouts and how you set them up. It's pretty cool that you can switch them like that. So that was the city layout. Let's go talk the city editor. Let's go talk about the commanders. Now, the 6 commanders that were released total are 3 legendaries and 3 epics. Unfortunately, on this account, as you guys might have seen in my previous video, the only legendary available in the tavern was not unlocked. So we're going to talk about the ones that are unlocked first. We'll start with the epics, and then we'll go towards the legendaries. So we have Belisarius, the Byzantium Last of Romans commander. He is a cavalry peacekeeping mobility commander. I'm not going to go into the details of all of his different skills, which are pretty good skills, to be honest with you. The only thing I'm going to highlight is one of each skills, and I kind of like his peacekeeping irresistible passive skill, where he adds bonus damage of up to 35% to barbarians. This is just like Lohar. This is a secondary Lohar that can also be used as a cavalry commander. He is stronger than Boudica in terms of barbarian damage. So good stuff. I love having another peacekeeping leader to send secondary commanders with that has the peacekeeping skills that give me extra resources and extra XP so I can train more commanders. Osman I is another one of the new commanders. He's the Ottoman Imperial Pioneer commander. He's a leadership conquering skill commander, which I think is really interesting because I do love skill because of the path you can go with rage. I do love conquering because you do have a good amount of hit power, although unfortunately I don't think anyone will use him as a leading commander. Therefore leadership and conquering goes out the window, and in general his tree goes out, all his trees go out the window. But he has some very interesting skills, some of them including troop capacity, which is standard for leadership commanders, but it is nice that he hits 850 damage on his first skill. That's a lot. And another bonus attack damage for 15% for 120 seconds after attacking cities for more than 30 seconds. So you got to keep in mind that you got to be attacking some cities, and then you'll have an extra 15 attack bonus. So if you're fighting other cities, he will actually be very, very, very useful. Now let's go look at the last one of the epics that I still do not have, and that's Baybars, the Arabia Father of Conquest commander. He's a cavalry conquering skill commander. I like another cavalry commander right here. He's an epic. You can get him from silver keys as well as gold keys, which means you have a nice extra cavalry commander to work with. He does a decent amount of direct damage as well as speed reduction on his first skill, some cavalry attack bonus. He is a little bit of a healer as well, gives some speed bonus. He's an overall great support commander. We have as a first legendary, and one that we cannot unlock yet, Constantine I from the Byzantium, the one and only commander. Now I'll tell you guys how you get him. The only hatless legendary commander can be achieved from Mightiest Governor events. If you guys hear anyone else say anything else, as of right now, the only way you can get these commanders is going to be through Mightiest Governor. No Wheel of Fortune, no Future Tavern, no nothing. You don't have to waste to hold on to your gold keys to just use them. They are not going to show up. Trust me. I wasn't wrong the first time, was I? So Constantine is a nice attack reduction first off the bat kind of commander. He has an insane secondary skill, which it has an increase of ginormous amounts of health for infantry, as well as crazy healing, which can only be triggered once per hour. So got to keep that in mind as well. So he's a pretty decent infantry garrison support commander. I think that he will be used primarily as an infantry commander with a little bit of extra support because you really don't want him for garrison. I believe there are better options out there. Now, the second legendary commander, which you cannot get in the tavern, is Saladin, the Egyptian Eagle. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but Saladin is actually the rival of Richard I. Saladin, just like Constantine, cannot be unlocked from the tavern, but he will be in a future Mightiest Governor event. So that's how you're gonna get him as well. He literally is the opponent of Richard I. I mean, if we go look at Richard and look at his information, he literally says here, victories against his Muslim counterpart Saladin. So they did edit out Richard to have a narrative, an enemy. And they did also a different thing to Richard, by the way, one of you guys in our stream where we looked at this for the first time mentioned that the second skill for Richard the First was changed. There were parentheses here that had to do with garrisoned troops. So that's also something interesting to look at. I have not looked yet at the details of what changed. Maybe nothing really changed. But still, that's something that is good to know. What do you guys think about the Richard that is almost maxed? All right. So why is Saladin the enemy of Richard? He literally has a line where he says he's going to get Richard again. And he is completely the guy that neutralizes Richard, because he has on his first skill, a 40% healing reduction effect, as well as crazy damage and march speed reduction from his first skill. That alone is there to counter Richard's insane healing stats. So you can clearly see there is a fight between these two, as I'm trying to get him to say the one line about Richard. That's not all he has to offer. He has a ton of damage bonus coming in, skill damage taken reduction. He reduces so much damage. This guy can actually be used to tank and make people weaker in a crazy amount. This is actually a good way for tier 4s to attempt to fight tier 5s or bigger, stronger, different commanders that come from Wales and stuff like that. So Saladin overall, a great guy. And the only commander that you can unlock from gold keys, which I didn't on this account, is Mehmed II, the Ottoman Ruthless Conqueror. He is a leadership conquering skill commander, kind of like our friend and his counterpart. Where was he? It was Osman the First. They both seem to be leadership conquering skill guys. He has a ton of damage early on, troop capacity and rallied army capacity increase, which is the most interesting thing about him, by 10%, meaning now rallies can go up to 2.2 million troops. So that's pretty crazy. That's a brief overview of the commanders. We're going to have much detailed talk about the commanders and how to get them and all that good discussion and all that in future videos. If you guys have any thoughts or opinions about them, leave them in the comments below. And if there's a comment that I think is awesome to highlight, I will show it in the video about the commanders. There were a few other small cosmetic changes that the game introduced. So for example, you can, instead of fat fingering gems now, there is a warning message letting you know that you have fat fingered gems, asking you, are you sure you want to do that? And I think that's cool. I've unfortunately fat fingered a lot of times on different situations. There are many other small changes, like the fact that the lumber mill all of a sudden has smoke. That was the first thing I noticed, because something is moving. It's like that wasn't there. There are other key changes, and the most important one is this button right here. Expedition is no longer there, but war is. Expedition is just like your old expedition. You click enter and you're back to where we were with the expedition button. But the other one is the Arc of Osiris. Now, Arc of Osiris has all the information you need to know. Battlegrounds hasn't opened yet, yes. However, there are standings already which are empty, and then a book of rules. You have a general background story, a brief gameplay explanation, process summary so you understand how it works. You have the registration, then you manage your army. The alliance leaders and titled officers can head to manage army page to select up to 30 combatants to participate. Once the top 20 alliances have signed up, you manage your army. Then you enter the battlegrounds. The battle happens. You have the preparation phase where you cannot teleport, occupy structures. You can't do anything. Just place alliance markers so you can set your strategy. The battle phase, the first period, is obelisks and outputs are unshielded for you to be able to port closer and start getting some points. The second phase, all remaining structures are unshielded, and now it's a brawl. And the third period is when the Arc of Osiris will finally appear. The end phase, the governors will automatically send to the result page, and the alliance points will be the one with the most points will be the winner. You have a page with all the explanation about the buildings, which we're not going to look at, and I'm just going to mention that I figured some of these out, but some I messed up. I didn't know that these guys were the same building, like shrine of both sides. And it's interesting because if you go look at the point system, you will know that, as crazy as it sounds, you don't get points by occupying the other team's shrine. So I don't know why they have two different icons. But anyway, you can see in the others tab all the information you got to know. And if you scroll down further, you will see all the point acquirement. And the thing is, the Ark of Osiris gives you a nice amount of points. Altars give you a decent amount of points for the first occupation plus the continuous occupation. So every minute, individuals in there get scores and alliance get scores. So the way it works, there is point systems for the alliance and a point system that is independent, and the rewards, which we're going to see next, work like that as well. So you can see all the points, and it's interesting to note that the points you get from kills are based on power lost. So 10,000 power is about 2,500 tier 4s for 1 point. So that's a little ridiculous. They're going to have to change this at some point because people are not going to want to fight in the wild. They're going to fight just to get the buildings, and that's that. Level 1 caravans, camel caravans, and all that give you all these points. It's interesting that they actually give you more individual points than alliance points. This is where you find who the snakes are. I mean, not really. I'm kidding. But still. Rewards, finally, it's the first time we're looking at rewards. The alliance rewards are decent. They're not that bad. 500 gems, 2 teleporters. That's not bad at all. A lot of level 2 resource packs and 10 stars for first place for all members, for people who win. The members of the defeated alliance will get this. So regardless of the result, you get this, which is really cool. Just by signing up and registering and putting your armies there, even if you don't participate at all and the other team just gets 100% and you get nothing, you will still end up with these. So it is worth signing up as a top 20. Now, if you do try, however, individuals are going to be given rewards based on their personal points. This here brings another important point. If your alliance wants to help out as many members as possible, you guys are going to do your best to rotate positions so that maybe if it's a 6-hour event, what's going to happen in the first 3 hours, these guys are going to try to get to 10,000 points. Then 15 other people are going to swap with them, and we're going to try to get as many people to 10,000 as possible. That means that you might have to perhaps take your army out of a building to let someone else in there because you already have the points, or they need more points than you do. And you know that if you're in a building that gives like 300 points and another one that gives 150 and you only need 150 and you got the time, you will be able to coordinate between members to get as many individual points as possible. So that's interesting. The thing is, you got to get the minimum of 3,000 points to end up with these awesome sculptures. Now that's what you get as the members of the winning alliance. The members of the defeated alliance are gonna pretty much get half of that, but it's still the same exact point system. So you guys are still gonna have to do the same coordination unless you don't care and only your whales are gonna get up to here. So it's up to the alliances. I think the Ark of Osiris, some of you are commenting. The Ark of Osiris is awesome. I'm looking forward for it to happen. This video is already way too long, so we're gonna cut it here. Those are the main big things out of this update. I don't think I left anything out. There is new sounds to the game. There's a bunch of cool things. I do think you guys should take some time to figure out the new changes. You can now see the progress of your commanders without having to dig into them. It's like a bunch of different cool things that they made that are completely different. Great update. Awesome stuff, Lilith Gaming. Thank you. What do you guys think? Leave me a comment below. I told you we're going to do a lot more about this in more depth, but I'm going to use this video and these comments to add to future videos. So if you guys want to be part of the conversation, comment section is open down below. Let's get it going. I'm the Gekko. I'm out of here. Thank you guys very much for watching this video. I apologize it's so long, but it was a lot to cover. If you guys liked the video, make sure you hit the like button. If you dislike it, hit the dislike button, but let me know why in the comments as well, like some of you have been doing. Again, if you guys want to stay connected, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff in the description. I'm the Gekko. I'm out of here. I'll see you guys in the next video sooner rather than later because we have so much material to cover. This is just Christmas for the content creators. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.